So the meeting is recording. I'm just going to hand over to the chair, Councillor Anna Abella.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anna Abella. I'm the chair of the licensing committee. We're going to briefly adjourn this meeting for 15 to 20 minutes and we'll recommence the meeting then. I apologize for any inconvenience this causes to the people who arrived at 7, but we'll re-adjourn in 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you.
Ready to reconvene?
Everyone, welcome to the licensing committee. My name is Anna Ben, I'm the chair of the licensing committee. We'll start off by, can you hear me at the back, or should I shout? A little bit louder. A little bit louder, okay. So my name is Anna Ben, I'm the chair of the licensing committee, and we're going to start by introducing the councillors on the panel today. Barbara, would you like to go first?
Councillor Barbara Blaine, Seven Sisters Ward.
Councillor Higby, Councillor Cassandra Lutton.
And can the officers introduce themselves, please?
Everybody, I'm Dan Barrett, licensing team leader.
I'm Nazir Chowdhury, I'm Principal Committee Coordinator and Clerk to this committee.
Mel Smith from legal team Harringay. I'm shadowing Nats today.
And can the applicant and his agent please introduce themselves?
There is representatives representing generals. You move the microphones forward. Right, move them forward. And speak into it, yeah.
Thank you. And we have several objectors here today. Have the objectors decided among themselves whether they would all like to speak or whether they would like to nominate one or two representatives to speak on their behalf? You're all speaking.
Well, I'm Kate, so that's me. I'm speaking on behalf of Taylor and Dooley Streets.
So how many people will be speaking as objectors? Three, okay. And for the applicant, how much time do you think you need to present your opening remarks? We usually do 5 minutes, but since there are three people who want to speak, you can have a little bit more. But yeah,
That's a lot. It might need about 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes.
So shouldn't say. That's what should probably get it from the residents.
Okay, so in that case, we just look at the order. So in that case, if you take 15 minutes, you just calculate that very quickly.
Okay, can I just point out that you've also got the.
Yes.
So we can speak and I don't know who the other people. Okay, thank you.
So you need to give time to the noise and then three residents. So in that case, if we could have 12 minutes for the applicant and then the 12 minutes for the objectors will be split into 3 minutes for noise and then 3 minutes from each of the three residents who want to speak. And this way we'll have equal time for the applicant and for the objectors.
Okay, but manager says 5 minutes per person. So that's not what our letter is actually saying. And I know that the applicant may say that they may want 10 minutes or so, but then the objectors need to get their 5 minutes. And if they choose to say less and speak, then that's fine.
All right, so in that case, it will be 5 minutes for noise and then 5 minutes each for the three residents who are going to speak. If you want to go above your 12 minutes for a bit longer, that's fine. Yeah, thank you. So before the meeting continues, I do have to explain that, as you know, this meeting is being recorded and will be available for public viewing. Do we have any apologies for absence?
There are no apologies for absence.
Is there any urgent business?
No urgent business.
And do members have any declarations of interest? No. And so I'll briefly summarize the procedure. The procedure for the meeting has been emailed to all participants by the clerk. For the purposes of any members of the public watching, you'll first hear from the licensing officer, After that, the applicant will present their case to the subcommittee. The objectors and the subcommittee will then have the opportunity to ask questions, and then the objectors will present their representation. And the subcommittee and applicants will have the opportunity to ask questions. All parties will then have the opportunity to sum up, and then the meeting will conclude to allow the subcommittee to deliberate and reach a decision. The decision will then be provided in writing within 5 working days of this meeting. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand and I will call upon you to speak. We'll take it that you will receive the papers and read them. There's no need to summarize the content of the papers and the content of the correspondence we received, but just draw attention to any points you'd like us to focus on. We'll give, when speaking, please be succinct and do not exceed the allocated time unless you request an extension of time, which is at the discretion of the chair. Please do not share anybody's address. Please avoid repetition. So please make sure you're not repeating the same facts or points that have been raised before, so that we can be as succinct as possible. So today we are going to be looking at an application for a new premises license at 95 West Street Road. Ms. Barrett, please introduce your report.
Yeah, so the panel has before them the application for new premises 95 West Street Road. Mr. Gebreverdin has submitted this application and he was the chair at 1.2. The legal hours that we want to be. And then let me point out here that on the page 48 of the picture back, you have got the police representation, and on that page at the bottom there, you've got the revised hours with the premises being open to the public Sunday to Thursday, 8 AM until 10:30, Friday to Saturday, 8 AM until midnight, and then the same up on the same of half an hour before the provision of recorded music. The applicant has accepted those hours, those hours in the police petition, and also the list of conditions on page 49 of the police rep also chair. Considering this application, chair, so the application was received, it went through its 28-day consultation period. We received representations from the police, from the noise RA, and also from the residents who are here. There has been some mediation, sorry, red medication is it? There has been some mediation also with residents during this time, chair. The applicant has sought to send over some correspondence to the residents to see if they could have reply of the matter, but residents sent back to say no, they wish to still carry on with their representation on this matter. So once the committee is heard from all parties, the committee may decide to grant the application as requested, to grant the application whilst imposing additional conditions and altering the application of the proposed operating schedule, or to exclude any licensed activities to which the applicant has taken interest, or to reject the whole part of the application. In doing so, whatever is decided, the panel is asked to give clear notes, clear reasons for that, chair. In terms of the background for this application, the premises are situated along a parade of commercial businesses with residential above and it's residential also. And the premises have operated previously as a retail and commercial in the past. We understand. The applicant now wishes to offer a restaurant style operation. The new owner is seeking to operate late night venue and also add shisha lounge to the area, although this has since been disputed, chair. So in the initial application that was set, that was given in, it had on the rear parking of the plan that was on page 19. The original plan did have the garden area shown there. But at the end of the process, after advising the applicant that the shisha or any kind of shisha activity was going to be put in place, it would need additional planning permission, and therefore, not something that the licensing committee could basically give an okay for. But they've subsequently changed the plan, Chair, and saying that they're not going to do any shisha activity there, Chair. Okay, we have section 3, the licensing policy matters, which I know you're acquainted with, and the legal officer will no doubt run through with you of the section 182 guidance, and also the authority's own statement of licensing policy. Just to bear in mind that section 17 of the Crime and Disorder Act 1998 comes into play, as does the Human Rights Act, Chair, in the deliberation of this matter. Chair, if I can point to the representations, so I have included the noise representation there, Chair, even though, the police representation, even though it's drawn. You have got the representation from the noise concern at page 27, and then there are the various representations from the residents that are here this evening, Chair, who all speak their concern regarding the late hours being applied for, men loitering and additional drinking and so forth, that they both say is likely to happen. And in some cases, there are pictures showing that this is in fact already happening. And sharing the additional documents that you give the document pack. I know residents also sent in, Chair, an overview of the matters that they say they were wanting the committee to be aware of in deliberating this matter. In particular, in the documents, you've got on page 1 there, got a lot of questions that you on the screen, but no doubt she'll want to have answers. Then I'll leave it, we have questions for me.
Do my fellow councillors have any questions for Ms. Barrett? Councillor Peacock.
Just one, David, on page 22, item D, it says, is a controlled drinking zone. What is that, Miss?
Apologies for that. That's the agent. I think they've used something that they've used elsewhere, basically, and it does come through. Yeah, it was pointed out previously, but then I saw it through again in the summary document that they asked me to put before yourselves. So that's why it's in that. It should we use that kind of data. Thank you. Chair, can I just point out a piece as well that the application is actually Tottenham Central and not in Northampton.
Thank you for these clarifications, Ms. Barrett. Councillor Payne.
Well, I missed Councillor Peacock. Can you just explain to me on page 22 what's gone on there, please?
Like, so the agent has here. I suppose it's meant to be what they are offering to do here, or what they propose from the premises. On page 22 at D, it has Islington is a controlled drinking zone in the street and not. That's incorrect.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. Can I ask the 3 speakers, the 3 objectors who are going to speak and come and sit around the table?
Thank you. If you could take these.
Thank you. Can I ask the applicants or his agent if they have any questions for Ms. Barrett?
Thank you for clear explanation. This is exactly what we have no questions.
And do the objectors have any questions on what Ms. Barrett says? Not your your detailed presentation, but is there anything that Ms. Barrett said that wasn't clear that you'd like her to explain?
Some of it we didn't hear.
Some of it we didn't hear. So Peacock, I didn't hear what your question was to.
Shall I ask the councillor Peacock to repeat the question?
Please.
I thought I spoke very loud. So you haven't got paperwork, have you?
Well, I have with my phone, yes, but I read so much of it by
Page 22.
yes.
So it's item 4, and it said, if Luton is a controlled drinking zone, drinking in the streets is not permitted. Well, you know, and I know that it's not in this instance, and that was my query.
Ms. Barrett clarified this was a mistake on the part of the applicant.
That's correct.
It's another mistake.
The report said Northumberland Park, and I clarified it's actually not central.
Something that says about,
Please ask you to raise your hand so you speak.
Yeah, that's what councillor Stephen just clarified. That's,
that is Luton and it's Landgate.
that's correct.
Very much.
Just want to know the rules of procedure. This meeting is recorded and people might want to watch it. So before you want to speak, raise your hand and I'll give you the floor. And if you speak, please switch on your mic, because that way people who are watching this, who are watching the recording, might follow this for reason. Okay, we'll move on to the next part of the meeting. So I'll turn now to the applicant. Please can you introduce your application? Will the applicant be speaking or will this agent take to the agent?
I will be speaking.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, for giving us a chance, and thank you for inviting. Yeah, my name is Olisinde Lesu, and I'm representing Tedros Kabode. He lives at Street 20 in Common Park in Hackney. He's a barman. He got 2 kids. He also has a barman, and he had this opportunity to open a restaurant because it's a very, very difficult time in the hospitality industry, but he was determined to do something that helps his family, and it took this list from a landlord. Initially, he didn't have enough knowledge. So the application was trying to do like a shisha and stuff, but giving you advice, it's not very straightforward, and he had that conversation with the neighbours upstairs as well, and that causes a lot of problem. But at the end, we mentioned a neighbour on the application, never say we are going to operate a shisha. So there, but what we was intending is to run up to 2 o'clock. The application was but getting feedback from everyone, the authority, the license authority, the licensing for we appreciate the what you got the noise team. She came and visited us as well, and she had a good understanding to what's exactly going on. And I would like to actually thank you, Mr. Jennifer, for come out and have a look what we are trying to achieve in the property. Saying that the premises is it's going to be a cafe and a restaurant, and it's going to be a family restaurant. To be specific, it's going to be Ethiopian or Eritrean restaurant. It's a dining restaurant. Nothing is. It's not a drinking establishment. There's no live music playing. Of course, there is going to be a background music, which is as a normal, and we have that conversation with the noise thing. The limitation of the noise, how we can control. We've been promised as well, to come back with what's called measure from one of the what's called from the residents from upstairs, to just put it on the music, and then they can actually hear it, and then we can actually adjust it to that level, so that we can control going forward. So we don't need any construction, but it's going to be like a normal background music. So, and saying that, getting the feedback from the police, the to call the license authority, also basically we agreed the conditions and the operating schedule as well. Yeah. So from 2 o'clock completely change. It says here we go. This is what's going to happen. So the closing times actually, but Thursday, Sunday to Thursday, it's up to 10:30. But even though it's given by police and by noise team up to midnight, but we're gonna stick to the lease agreement we have with the landlord, which is 10:30. Yeah, so that's gonna be our closing time. Yeah, but going forward, if you can extend it in hours, yeah, with this region, we can do that. But our priority is, to make everyone or our members happy and then, operate legally. To mention that I have all the conditions been accepted by the police given and the noise team as well. Yeah, also from the license authority, they have their own similarities. Actually, the time that begin to operate are almost the same, but midnight. The noise team Friday, Saturday allow you can operate up to 1 o'clock morning, 1 a.m. And we have accepted all the conditions as well. Yeah. But main thing that I want to mention is with our neighbors. I have effectively tried to communicate with them what we try to do with the property. I have here about 30 questions from neighbors. I will try to answer every details of them, details of it, for having extra time for reading questions. But it's been explained everything from the from the police and from the license authority. So we have we're residents here. We really concerned with you. We understand your concerns, and we are here. We promise we can deliver to what we say what we by the license authority. So to summarize, what we agreed is a list of what we proposing to do. What we read quickly before the sign again. I've recently stated to every one of you at the time, but I'm going to read it again. Yeah. If you look at the residents, we have valid concerns that you have raised, and we are more than happy to minimize or avoid them in line with the License Act 2003. Taking your concerns and points seriously, we have changed our opening hours recommended by the local police, the license authority, and the noise team. I have accepted all conditions provided given by the all parties. Public noise. We totally understand concerns that you have raised regarding the existing problems. What we have noticed that we've been sent a lot of pictures, people hanging around on that corner, unnecessary. So, which is even for us, that's going to be a concern. So, what we're trying to do is, we're going to do once we are open. At the moment, it's because it's closed. People actually gather. Once we open, that place is going to be, people will come. So that area is going to be more populated. So we're going to put signs in there. Even if it's necessary, we actually have to step out and tell them, they should be standing on stuff as well. And we're going to be. So these are the lists that I have. The music, all music amplifiers are being kept the background. That's what we have to play. Notice shall be permanently displayed, requesting customers to leave the area quietly. Alcohol only because the premises while being seated at the table. The outside of the frontage shall be swept and clean, and any rubbish and smoking places associated with the business toward the end of stream each evening. The collection of refuse shall be restricted hours between 7 and 23 hours from 22 and 30, Monday to Saturday. No collection will be made on Sunday or on holidays. Customers will not be permitted to take drinks outside the premises into the steps of the premises.
So yes, I just want to draw your attention that we have the letter you're reading from in our pack, so we all read it ahead of the meeting. Are there specific points that you want to draw particular attention to So I can assure you, we've read,
You break that.
we've read the letter, we've all read it. So if there are specific points you want to explain or elaborate on.
That's it. Thank you so much. Yeah, was just going to screw it because it was raised by one of the residents. She have my university, she's already this is but she wants to make sure this is going to be recorded. So that's why I tried to mention. I was trying to repeat what I promised. But those are the main points that we need to do. So we are going to be running a distant Ethiopian or Eritrean restaurant. That's not going to be a confusing to say what's going to start today. There's going to be no of license, no of sale of alcohols. So everything will be consumed. Previously on the application, putting on it of getting the what you call the advice from the police. We say that we're going to do any of sales of alcohol. So everything should be consumed is what you call a table. These are the points that we need to address. And we are more than happy to work with the residents for any improvements or feedbacks as going forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. De Besso. So I'm now going to ask you a few questions myself, then I'll hand over to the other councillors who might have questions for you, and then to the objectors if they have questions for the applicant and his agent as well. If the noise, the representative of the noise team also wishes to come join us around the table, you're most welcome to do so. So my question is, so I understand that the applicant has accepted the police's proposals. And one of the proposals is to have recorded music from Friday to Saturday from 11 to 11:30, so for 30 minutes. From the documents we received, I understand that this is a restaurant where there's not going to be any people standing drinking. People are only going to drink with their meal. What I haven't understood is if this is a restaurant, people aren't going, it's not a disco, it's not a club. Why is there going to be recorded music, and what is the purpose of 30 minutes of recorded music?
Okay, I can thank you, Chair, for the question. Traditionally, if you have a restaurant, they have very unique classical music, or very stylistic enjoy from it. Because most of our customers can be Ethiopian or Eritrean, coming from abroad. So what we're trying to change today is to just make them comfortable, feeling there. So it's not like a dancing or something, but they can listen in the background music and enjoy music, but nothing else that's behind it. So if the license authority says there shouldn't be any music that's subject, to be honest with you, we have no problem there, we can agree with that, yeah. But this is just to go with the food, so it takes them back home and enjoy the food, nothing else.
Thank you for clarifying that point. I have another question before I hand over to my fellow councillors. I read in the report the letters submitted by various residents. One of them on page 27 says that there was solicited by the fire brigade, this establishment, and that coal was being burnt indoors. Another resident said that in one instance, carbon monoxide levels inside their property were 4 times above the level for evacuation. How do you explain this? Why did the fire brigade have to visit the property? I will give you time.
It wasn't the fire brigade, it was the emergency gas services.
Thank you for the clarification. So why did the emergency gas services have to visit the property, and why were carbon monoxide levels so high?
Thank you, Chair, again. Yeah, the information that I gathered at that time, yeah, there were builders working on that beautiful property at that time. When at the end of the day, this is really a project where they've done unnecessary things at that day. One of the builders brought some shisha kind of consumers, which consumers at home inside, and he actually tried to use it. for some reason that triggers the alarm. And of course, it was a good lesson for my client, and it was a good morning as well. But taking feedback from it, we go through this shouldn't happen, and we take it as a lesson. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. That I really apologize. But that's I mentioned that one of my email as well. It's just I also say a lack of knowledge for that time. So I really apologize, and we are sent to happen.
Thank you for your answer. I'm going to hand over to Peter next. Do you have questions for the applicant? So I'll take Councillor Blake first and then Councillor Lee.
So you talk about this being a family restaurant, and dining, go to serve delicious fresh food. You said that you're going to serve English and continental breakfast. So what kind of English and continental breakfast are you going to serve, please? What will be the food that you're serving?
In the morning, we'll have normal, like a bacon, just normal English breakfast. Yeah, egg, bacon. We have like toast, some toast as well. Yeah, coffee, tea. We'll have cappuccino. It's just a normal cafe stuff as well. Yeah, some croissants is going to be as well. So we are open for customers demand in the area as well. Yeah, but because it's a new business as well, so it's very full breakfast to provide the morning.
And then it's a family restaurant. So are you serving food all day continuously? Do you have lunch and an evening service? How is that going to work?
It's going to be, thank you for this question. It's going to be open 8 o'clock in the morning for breakfast, and we continue for lunch, and then of course for dinner. My client and his extended family will be holding patents. Also, there is the opportunity to employ 2 part-timers and 1 full-time as well. So hopefully, if things are right, we're going to create a new job in there as well.
I must admit that I don't think egg and bacon is perhaps particularly healthy food that you say you're going to serve. So you might need to think a bit more about that, because you've emphasised healthy food, and I'm not sure. I think that I don't know whether you thought that through. I just wanted to move on. So one of the so I'm looking at page 33, and I know you have explained about this carbon monoxide. Are you categorically saying that there was no sheet of smoking inside the premise on that day? That's what you were categorically saying, that there was no shisha smoking inside the premises on that day, which was Wednesday the 17th of May.
Yeah, that particular day, as I mentioned, the builder was working on that. The press was not ready at that time. Yeah, so at the end of his shift, yeah, trying to do shisha smoking. That triggers the alarm at that time.
I mean, I didn't quite. So there was shisha smoking inside the building.
The person he did smoke.
Right.
So we shine, it can be clarity was.
I was going to say, well, why was that? Why was that? Why was the person smoking indoors?
It's I don't inside. Yeah, but they so. Yeah, we would find out, yeah, to use a shisha at that time as a office shift. And at that time, Tedros came, he explained the situation. So that triggers when they did the alarm.
Sorry, I didn't hear, sorry, I missed, sorry.
Yeah, they fired up, for to use a shisha as a side under the back. So they stopped him at that time. He told them and not to, but at that time it was too late, because the smoke was already created out, and that triggers it's called alarm. Yeah, but it was more like a constant use for 10 minutes for us, just straight away, and then they have to stop. They have to stop.
Chair, I've got some more questions, but you've indicated that you wanted to come in.
I do have a follow-up question on this. If it was only one person smoking shisha, how is it possible that the carbon monoxide levels reach? It seems unlikely that one person smoking shisha would generate that level of carbon monoxide. Not an expert on shisha, but it just seems strange.
Shall I get answer from so I can stop as well?
Can I give the answer?
Yes, of course.
So yeah, that time I was there, yeah, and the coal was like this much, yeah. We put in the grill part, we put the fire to make the fire, yeah. That caused fire alarm set off. No, the shisha smoking set off. That she was yeah, she was there as well as witness it, yeah, and she see it by her eyes. She take a picture as well. I'm just, yeah, that's the exact answer for that.
So one sort of set of shisha coals can generate that level of.
Yes.
Go ahead, Councillor Blake.
So are you going to have, or is your applicant, is he going to have parties hold parties in this premises? Because he said that to one of the residents, that he's going to have parties and there could be noise.
Yeah, initially, from my understanding, but if you want to talk up and top my head, initially at the beginning, he had that kind of really open, extended extension, like open roof, have a little bit of play area and stuff, yeah, but giving you advice and stuff, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So there's not gonna be a party, mix up people to just sit down and enjoy the food. So you want to know it's yeah. So that initial plan is completely gone.
Can I explain a little bit?
Yes, of course.
In the future, before,
Speak up, sorry, put the mic.
Yeah, it's like, look, we're close to the table, so
This room echoes a lot, so.
it's okay. It's totally fine.
yeah, from the beginning, I tried to make a party, late night refreshments, long hours, but after I gathered the information of the neighbors, I understand, just I'm there to don't disturb the neighbors, work out the neighbors, and to make the suitable condition in the very beautiful restaurant around. That was my plan. And if it is time with them, that's why after that total completely stopped. And this is not gonna be worry the neighbors. We already told the neighbors. I'm very pleased to work with them together. I'm not going to do it anymore because I take advice from the police, all the party of I take the advice.
So you are quite inexperienced in running a restaurant, and I think I want some confidence that this is going to be a well-run restaurant. It is very easy to say you're going to work with the residents, but you are obviously quite inexperienced. And I think that's where I think I need to have some confidence that this is going to be well run and that it is going to be a restaurant that is open to the whole of the community. So, I mean, can you could you just talk a little bit, are you going to have a manager? Are you going to be there? Are you going to be there all the time? Are you going to manage? Are you having a manager? How are you, you're inexperienced, you know, how can you ensure that you're going to run this place well?
That's why, from my understanding, when I met him the first day, he didn't have that lot of knowledge. We have to probably and stuff as well, yeah. But giving him feedback and going through the lots and stuff, yeah. He learns a lot, yeah. And life is about learning as well, yeah. So he definitely is gonna have someone to help him, yeah, as management, yeah. But meanwhile, at the same time, I am slightly better than him as well with the Chichisu restaurant, at least with the loans and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna be helping him as much as he wants to do. Yeah, but definitely he's gonna employ a very expensive manager and going forward as well. So definitely we get help.
Okay, and I've just got one more question comment. So thank you for that. Thank you. So, a bit concerned about these pictures. I mean, that doesn't seem to me like a family restaurant. And you know, the fact is, people hanging around, being outside like that, talking, laughing, smoking. Now that I don't get the impression when I see these pictures, it doesn't fit to me with you saying that this is going to be a lovely family restaurant that you're going to serve, you know, this nice healthy food and all of that. So, you know, that I am worried about that. Why have you let people hang around outside like that? How are you going to control that?
Right, thank you for raising that. Is our concern as well. First of all, the restaurant is not open. We're not operating. These are not our customers. These are existing problems that we have. At the beginning of my earlier on, yeah, I have mentioned, yeah, there is a lot of problems at the moment at that corner, gambling, gas and stuff, yeah. So we are going to tackle once this place is open, yeah. The window will open, customers are sitting inside, yeah. It's unlikely people will actually stand next someone eating the food as well, yeah. So those features that you see is our concerns as well. So we need an advice. We're going to work with the license authority, yeah, to tackle resources. So our intention is to put signs outside. We're going to have a CCTV as well, yeah. So at least people can see that CCTV is operating, so they can actually, you know, start from standing or do unnecessary things as well, yeah. It's raised by one of the residents, yeah. If someone or some people actually, they can't actually go past with push chairs outside. That's absolutely right, yeah. So anyone should be standing on that side, even our customers, yeah. We're not going to allow more than 2 people to go out and smoke a cigarette as well, yeah. So we are serious about it because that's going to affect our image, our restaurants as well. So by looking at those people standing, who is going to come to our, what you call it, to our restaurant? Yeah, so some big concern for us, and we need some help, and we can work with the license authority to tackle that. Yeah, so we are feeling the same way what the what's called the local residents are feeling at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much for saying that's it.
Thank you, Councillor Blake. I'll hand over to Councillor Peacock, and then I have a couple of questions myself before I hand over to Ms. Barrett and the agendas.
I want to confirm everything you just said about the outside, because I've been dealing with it for many, many years with the previous cafe that was there on the corner. And over the last few years, there's always been a crowd outside there. I think it's called Big Ben's or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was a notorious place. And I'm glad that you say that you're going to try and stop all that. It's very difficult with the car park immediately behind, which has got seating and other things there, which actually encourages people to congregate there. And that has been a big problem, which I've been dealing with many times in the past. I'd like to, I've looked at the diagram that you kindly sent in, and there was talk earlier on about the garden area, and I just wondered where the garden area actually was, and if you built over it, where was the garden area before?
That is the extension of the building, back.
Yeah.
That area, yes, actually, yeah. So he initially he told us we can actually open,
I understand.
yeah, and make it like a recyclable, what's called roof, so to make it like a fresh air access as well, yeah. But considering, of course, the planning itself, it's not worth it, so we actually completely left it. So that area is that's an extension of that building, and there's going to be just a normal dining area.
So you've got planning permission to build over it, to close it up?
It was initially closed as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so we haven't touched anything. So
Now, you say that you're registered to get the refuse collected on a regular basis. Can I ask you if it's council or is it Bimba? Because with the council, they have regulated times. And if you put it out earlier or later, you'll get a big fine. So I think you know to make sure that when you put the rubbish out, you look at the time you're supposed to put it out, because that's another problem that I've been dealing with. You said about the smoking, they go outside to smoke, and you said quite correctly, you'll be no more than 2 people and you supervise that. Would you have a camera outside so you can check on that?
yeah, we'll have a camera outside there, and initially we were thinking about just 5 people outside to smoke, but getting the feedback from the neighbors that even 5 people is going to be too much, and we said, well, okay, now we can do 2 people at a time, yeah, and there will be a designated smoking area where a slightly bigger space where it doesn't struggle the people who are passing to.
I'm very interested. It's going to be an Eritrean.
Ethiopian.
Because I go to one in Broad Lane.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they don't serve bacon there. Is your restaurant going to be halal, or what will it be? Because our Eritrean food is delicious.
Yeah, well, we try to be, if some other, we need to not gonna, our customer not gonna be, we don't want it to be specific or rich as well. So we want the local customers, if they, fancy nice egg or something, we can consider. Yeah, there's a lot of people types of stock safety, as you mentioned these days, yeah, as well, yeah. So we can outsource quality ones, maybe if necessary to do that. But as I said, because it's a new idea, it's a new restaurant, we are always looking for the customers feedback and we'll take it from there.
I know that the area has got more and more people now from Eritrea living in the borough. And so if they came to you and said they would like to bring along, say, a dozen people to celebrate an engagement or something like that, how would you would not consider that?
That is the one of the point at the beginning that we told us that we can have there. That's what we applied for sort of okay. And I'm considering with the noise level, especially with the people upstairs. I don't think so. The place is what you call the soundproof, and it will definitely affect the people who live upstairs. So if they want to come and have an engagement, just a normal food, that more than welcome. But we're not gonna have like a party, engagement party stuff as well.
I'm pretty concerned about the areas said before, because showing the photographs, that's been normal for years now, and you're going to have a really hard job to stop all that. So I'm hoping that you're going to have security there who will maintain that area is clear all the time. And perhaps on a Saturday you should have perhaps 2. It's all according to how many people congregate out there, what support that you'll need to make sure they move over. Yeah, so I don't see that in the list. As well, all the recommendations about security.
Yeah, we discussed that with the police for that. So the recommendation will go easier to do when you want to open to do a dynamic risk assessment. So we see if that, once that place is open, if those people are still gathering and stuff, yeah, we need actually to consider SIA trained, what's called supervisor between the hours of 9 until the closing time. So that is actually mentioned on the, what you call the proposal for possibility that I have discussion with. So we have actually considered the busy times, especially Friday, Saturday, we can consider that.
And just to go back to, are you registered for referees? And if so, dare you say we will?
We have a recommendation from the noise team to do that, where we can score and waste up, but we haven't actually received any feedback yet after the we have the visit from the noise team, but we are considering that as private companies that it could pick up sidewalks.
I'm just talking about the refuse. You'll need to get, like the oil has to be in special containers and stuff like that. So you need to have a proper registered company. And I would recommend to you, if you do it with the council, it'd be easier for you.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. Yeah, we definitely get into that.
Thank you, Councillor Peacock. Before I hand over to Ms. Barrett for her question and then questions from the objectors, I just have a few clarifying questions that I'd like to ask. So you mentioned that the applicant is going to hire someone to help him. Without mentioning the name, who is the person he's going to hire? What kind of experience does he have?
Yeah, what he said is there's a lot of expensive, what you call people in Ethiopia, from Ethiopia, well qualified chefs, which is unemployed. But at the moment, he's just waiting for the application to go through before actually inviting for interview and take the right person, because he doesn't want to commit for someone to employ before the application is done. So if the application is granted, definitely there will be an vacancy for expressive people to employ.
Thank you for the clarification. And the other point is on page 21 in the pack we received, we were told that we were proposing that not more than 5 people would be able to aggregate outside the premises, but now you're saying it's 2. Are you committing that it's only 2 people who will be able to aggregate outside?
Yes, yeah, that's what's going to happen. That's why the residents recommended, and we're going to stick to it.
Thank you for confirming that point. My final question is, on page 10 of the pack we received, you made a request for seasonal variations for playing of recorded music on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and bank holidays. Are you still planning to play recorded music on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and bank holidays? And if so, what's the purpose? Will you be holding parties on those days?
Well, Christmas comes once a year, so we believe everyone is celebrating. So, you know, we can invite everyone, even from the people who live upstairs, to join us. This is like a normal, even normal households do Christmas parties as well. So we see it that way. It's not like a big, we're not going to expect like a big party and stuff, but we're going to celebrate hopefully with the license authorities, the permission within limited hours of themselves.
So to clarify, you want to hold parties on Christmas and New Year's Eve?
Oh yeah, if we can allow, why not?
And you also mentioned bank holidays. Would you also want to hold parties on bank holidays?
To be honest with you, at the beginning, what you call the application, yeah, we were thinking about that, but bank holiday maybe it will affect the neighbors as well. So still, we need feedback from the neighbors, and if it's gonna be, affecting our neighbors, we're not gonna do that. We just Friday as well.
Thank you for answering my questions. Inspired, you have a question.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chair. Just go through some points of clarity. Let me start with that particular bit that you just finished with, Chair. Christmas evening is in bank holidays. I think that was part of what was already picked up with the police, and obviously they have put forward the hours that have been agreed to. And so I would suggest that, you know, should this license be granted, should the applicant wish to hold anything beyond that time and on those days, then it puts in for temporary vendor notices, because that's exactly what they are there. Tenants, yes, that should be used. That's okay. Some of the other things I picked up, Chair, just for clarification. So in the additional pack on page 17, it does make clear on here, what's been put forward is that all music and amplified sound shall be kept at background levels. So it then goes on there, I put to the panel there on that. If all music is being kept at background levels, then the requirement for the regulated entertainment would fall away in any event. And if you were to grant this license today, and the applicant was to get the ability to do on sales of alcohol, they would in fact then benefit from the exemption to be able to offer live and recorded music anyway, without it needing to be on the license, and they would be able to do that through the hours of 8 and 11 p.m. each day. Would condition that in any event. So if it's an exemption again, it wouldn't be named on the license, but they would still benefit from that. Okay. I was interested to know what the agreement was with the landlord. It was mentioned, and some timings were mentioned about the agreement with the landlord about the use of the premises. If you could repeat that, please.
Yeah, the according the landlord's lease, it has A1, I think planning permission. But I think from September 2021, or A1, B1 could be categorized to Class E, which is can be changed to a restaurant or cafe. So he is trying to say we are not allowed for what you call premises license, but we have discussion already with the what you call solicitors to clarify what's going on. But now it is okay to run the premises a restaurant place.
Sorry, so you're saying that there's a dispute with the landlord, but you're sorting it out.
But it's categorized. It's categorized as A1, categorized as an E, and E could be a restaurant. So we should have the problem they have is the opening and the closing time, which is 10:30.
That's what I wanted you to repeat.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying. You're saying that there is a dispute with the landlord at the moment. The A, whatever use class, that's a planning issue, but there is still, for your client, he's in dispute with the landlord about using the premises as a restaurant and the later hours that's being applied for.
Exactly, yeah. And we have really said that they're going to be running until 12 o'clock in the morning. And it's going to be up to, we have to stick to the lease, which is essential.
In what you've offered here as well, you're saying alcohol will only be sold with food and for people seated with meals. That's what you're asking the committee to consider. Okay, and also smoking that will take place with only 2 patrons. Can you confirm that they will be standing at the front, therefore on the West Green Road side, and not on the residential road side?
That's absolutely right. We'll have a sign, designated site smoking area.
You on West Green Road?
Exactly. So we're going to risk what's called dynamic assessment. So we're going to try to find exactly where the people have stopped.
The hunting area at the back, so on page 38, I know Councillor Peacock asked about that added area at the back and whether it was built with planning permission or not. But there is a door at the back there. Can you confirm that your customers will not be permitted until you by that door to congregate on side road on the residential road?
Yeah. So that's going to be like a fire exit.
Fire exit, only to be used in a
Stop function, we still push lock. So customer is going to be allowed.
Okay.
Also, it's going to generate the applicant residents who are affiliated with that side.
All right, and in what you offered as well, in meeting residents' demands, as you said, on page 18. It's unfortunate because I don't think you've actually meant this, but you've lifted this from something to do with Islington. And one of the things you've got on here is that there's a search policy. So what is the search policy?
Yeah,
It's really down, but
well, initially, that picked up from the original document. We were planning to open up the top block. At that time, if we had the permission to run up the top block, maybe we should have a SIA train and.
so you're saying you're not going to have a search policy now because if you get this license granted and it's reduced over.
For the purpose of the moment, it's just a problem of having a restaurant, we are not gonna have what's called a search policy for that, But of course, we're gonna monitor CCTV whatever is happening, this is for the public safety.
So, and do you have a risk assessment for the maximum venue capacity?
The risk assessment will be taken, and we have actually spoke to the officer as well. We counted how many chairs we have and enough what you call fire exits as well. So we estimate between 24 to 26 people at a time.
So how many?
24 to 26 people approximately.
24 to
20 to average 25 people.
at any one time? Okay, so sorry, Jay, can I just answer that later? Can you actually submit that copy of that, your risk assessment, please? Is it a fire risk assessment that's been done to work out your safety?
Right, the full risk assessment is going to be done. We were just waiting for the certification of the electrical installation will be done. And there's a few things that the kitchen, it's not finished yet. So once everything is actually done, we're going to do a risk assessment, fire risk assessment. We call someone to do it, so that this place is not completely finished. So you couldn't actually do it, so.
And you have stated that off sales has been removed now from the notification. You're not offering off sales any longer because obviously you're saying that alcohol will only be served to people seated and taking meals.
Absolutely.
Are you happy to accept a condition should the committee decide that there will be no hiring out of the venue for events?
Yeah.
You're happy to accept such?
We have to accept that, yeah.
The members also mentioned SIA. So that's subject at your discretion as to whether or not you think that SIA should be placed on premises. Should it be going to check? Then I can check.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. So I'll now turn to the objectors to see if they have any questions for the applicant. You have time later to do your confidence presentation, but this is just to ask questions of the applicant and his agent. Do any of the objectors want to ask questions?
Yes.
Would you like to go first? Can you remind us your name and ask your question, please?
Okay.
Sorry?
Oh, yes, my name's Monica Pooley. Sorry. What makes the,
Sorry, Ms. Cooley, and this goes to all the objectors. If you could direct your questions to the subcommittee, and if you could direct your answers to the subcommittee.
okay. What makes the applicant believe that he will be able to stop these gatherings of all these people when for many years it has gone on and the police and the council haven't been able to stop it? What makes him believe that he can possibly stop these gatherings?
Thank you for your question. Ms. Pooley, the applicant and his agent like to answer.
Right, thank you for that question. It's a bring raised on one of the questions that I raised before. We try to answer as well there. So at the moment, the place was closed, and also it used to be a time shop. So most of the time, that place after 5 o'clock is closed. So that was a good opportunity for people to gather on that, loud music, loud stuff as well. But now we have inflation. There is a restaurant, and there are people is actually dining. So the only first of all that what they see, that definitely it's gonna make them think twice. Second, we're gonna have a CCTV direct to that corner. So we're gonna put a big sign in there as well to do it. But of course, yeah, we're gonna go outside and fight with them to set, yeah. But if you need to report it to police, if you need to go to what's called report it to the license authority, yeah, definitely we're gonna contact them. And then we'll work with them and, you know, to get those PRs as well. So it's not the power, it's not 100% on us, yeah, but we try our best to, you know, to avoid such crowd that places. But the main thing is the places was empty and there's no action. As I said, most of them is scrolled the day, so it was a good opportunity for people to gather.
Thank you, Steve, do you want more questions?
Yes. Even with the CCTV, I don't believe it helps because we've had CCTV up from the council and it's not stopped. And as far as stating, you know, you believe that a lot of it is from a restaurant not being there, only a tyre shop being there. I can just a restaurant is asking for an alcohol licence, you know, so putting that to one part and then saying that, you know, it's a tyre shop and that there was more people hanging around because it was only a tyre shop. It doesn't make sense to me. And
What is your question to the applicant? Because you'll have 5 minutes to explain your concerns, so now you only have to ask questions.
I'm sorry. Okay, well, you know, I'm not happy with the answer. But, the other question, I do have another question. Has the premises actually got an A3 licence? Because I believe an A3 covers the hot food. A1 is cold food. I'm sorry, A1 is cold food. I'd like to know if A3 licence has been granted already. So if it has, then I can understand them applying for drinks, an alcohol licence. But if it hasn't been granted already, it seems to me as if it's a bit of a waste of time, this committee having to go through it all when there's no licence for A3 has been granted.
Ms. Barrett, do you want to answer this question?
Thank you, Chair. So the people are able to put in for licences, premises licences, and it actually is separate to planning requirement. So the A3, A1 is all planning use class terms, and that's a separate regime and not one that the panel needs to take into account here. They can still somebody can still put in a premises licence application, and this panel can still determine that application under the licensing process.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification. There's the other question, it's regarding where it's been stated that only 2 people are going to be allowed to be outside the premises to smoke on West Green Road. Does that mean that they're going to be standing on the pavement, which is going to be more people gathering there? Is that the designated area for pavement? West Green Road?
Thank you so much again. If possible, if you can actually avoid completely for people from smoking outside, that would be nice. But we can't actually do that. So what we plan to do is, yeah, we're gonna do a site elements, but which means we're gonna have the ways they are appropriate. Actually, people can start to smoke. So we're gonna decide this is the area, this is the smoking area, and to my promises, we're not very so worried about our customers. How when we're gonna tell them, yeah, this is a rules, yeah, please, yeah. Try to avoid the smoking from this area. So definitely we find where they want to so. So, but we make sure we are going to affect which call the residents and passing to the residential area.
Thank you. Ms. Goody, do you have more questions?
Yes, please. Does the applicant intend to perform a traditional Eritrean coffee ceremony? Please.
That is 100% yes. We can have a fresh coffee that's going to be roasted inside, and we're going to have, you will see the traditional ceremony at least once a week, every Sunday. You can still be working on it, yeah, but definitely we'll have a traditional dressing, and people will enjoy the Ethiopian traditional coffee ceremony as well.
What I understand, we're reading about it. Aren't the coffee beans for this ceremony? Aren't the coffee beans roasted over hot coals? Isn't that going to cause more smoke and monoxide poisoning gas?
Coffee roasted is not going to make any carbon monoxide or others dangerous smoke as well. The gonna do once a week, of course, we'll have the structures inside the kitchen. So it's the smoke that can come out is just very, very minimal.
Could you kind of explain to us what the traditional Ethiopian coffee roasting?
Yeah. Okay, the Ethiopian traditional coffee ceremony is have fresh what's called coffee, and then you roast it to not very even, so it's just to kind of mild toast, and then you green that and you boil it with water, and then there's a traditional cups that you use it, and then you just have a fresh coffee. So if it's necessary, that's why we need it once a week. But still, if that's gonna make a kind of smoke and said, we don't have to do it. It's optional.
I'm going to finish off unless it's specifically about the ceremony. Okay, Ms. Barrett.
Sorry, Chair, it looks like you're holding.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chair, it looks like the possibility of the activities that want to take place there. Can you clarify, please, that in the building works that's been done and the renovation to the premises, have you had the works signed off by a building control surveyor? I'm concerned, obviously we've heard already from residents about smoke going upstairs into residential premises. What assurances are you able to give the committee here this evening that there is, sufficient layers of barriers, whatever needed to be installed at the premises to avoid this happening? Avoid this happening in the future. It's concerning.
Two times is already. It just moved up. Yeah. Something. We told there would be an internal structure. Yeah. And to take it out.
So there's going to be an
internal extractor within the kitchen.
So just to clarify, the residents who are here, even if you're not sitting around the table, you can still raise your hand to ask a question.
Okay, sorry. I'm unnecessary. Can I?
Yes, I just want Ms. Goody to finish that.
Sorry, it's just about
the rest of the kids off then.
It's just about me though, about this specific point.
It's also about the ceremony.
Yeah.
Okay, then please do ask your question. Maybe you can take one of the
That's why I
other
said
senses.
Sorry, yes, I'm not resident. I think I'm wrong. So when the carbon monoxide event happened, the reason why there was also so much smoke going through is because they actually drilled through the ceiling to put speakers into the ceiling, which created an air gap. And that is why there was such excess carbon monoxide. And that's also why we are also very concerned about smoke, because that air gap has basically made it 10 times more challenging to reduce that kind of transmission through the ceiling to our floorboards. And a very small, it would need to be a very small level of smoke for that to become problematic for us. I just wanted to make that point.
Thank you. Just to clarify, at this point, we're asking questions, but perhaps this is the point the objectors can respond on more in their minds for interventions.
Sorry, yeah, absolutely. So just, I guess on that, we actually wanted to know if the speakers are still there. I understand that you turned them off, but the air gap still is there. So do you have any plans to fill that air gap?
Yeah, then that's for sure. We take your feedback as consideration. If that's the concept, definitely it's going to be filled up. And also the speakers actually be what you call the noise skin. The Jennifer actually saw it. So the way being installed is actually completely. It's not actually at the ceiling. There's an external kind of wood cover, so it's not actually vibrating against the just the wall of the ceiling, so the noise will be very, very minimal. But the gaps definitely have to be really filled up.
Thank you. Ms. Cooley, do you have more questions or should I? Okay, one more question and then I'll ask your fellow residents and they also want to ask. Thank you.
On the map, on the diagram, the plan, where the cars used to be, when it was a tyre shop and the cars used to be brought into the premises, it was open. And what's now happened, it looks as if it's just been a wall that's just been built with plasterboard, which is, it's not very noise friendly, noise are coming out of plasterboard, plus the hole, that there's holes that have been bored into this plasterboard where they built this wall, and then there's metal vents. Could I be told if this is the only ventilation that's going to be coming from that second dining room? Because apparently there's 2 dining rooms and then there's the front, which is a cafe restaurant as well. Please.
Do you answer this question, please?
Yes, of course, it used to be open, but now it's not only plasterboard. There is actually wall internal, and even for external, there is a big shutter. We kept that shutter for extra security, but of course, it needs a bit of finishing built outside as well. To be honest, you see why Clive is also making really work hard. And he now in a position that he has got a lot of money, but of course, we from outside, it needs a bit of finishing. Maybe you've seen the guy who's looking like a plasterboard, but definitely need a bit of finishing. And we appreciate for your advice and synergy.
Thank you. To any of the other objectives, have questions? So I'll start with you, please. Could you give us your name and ask your question?
Kate Coulson. My question is that myself and the applicant share the same landlord, and he has clarified to us directly that not only is the sale of alcohol on the premises against his licence, but also that he is also prohibited to what food he is able to cook, and he's not permitted legally to use a grill cooker. We do not have we are not allowed to appropriate his tenancy because of data protection, but I'm sure if the council got in contact with the landlord in question, he was able to they would be able to have a copy of that, obviously require up the free training they are. But my question is that I believe that the landlord has stated to us explicitly that he was basically only allowed to use a microwave. So my question is, how is he planning to make this lovely sounding food only in the microwave? Thank you very much. So hopefully the applicant and the agent's answer, please.
Okay, I just want to see a copy of that lease where it states on the side later. I'm just going to read it. It's on the lease agreement that we have, and yeah, we got it here. Thank you. The lease agreement by tenant says, while you are a tenants under the under lease, we agree the following. One, change of use, including half cooking and overcooking. So you're allowed to do those things. That's all, yeah. And on his lease, he never say he's not allowed to have a premises license. There is nothing that shows or given to us in the lease as well, yeah. And so from 2021, the new government association, what they've done, because after the COVID, we end up a lot of empty shops. So what they have introduced is to any A1 or B1, yeah, they can actually change it to restaurants with the right application. Of course, yeah, there's a lot of criteria they have to fill out before they do that. So actually, he cannot actually stop us from having a premises license or a restaurant according to the list that I'm talking about. So if that's the case, still we need to go to watching also the solicitors, yeah, and finalize it. What's going to be the right? But I don't think so. He will actually stop him from doing running a restaurant in that place.
So if I can clarify this, legally, you are allowed to use the premises for this purpose, but the landlord is not happy with this and he's disputing this.
That's absolutely right, because his concern is because they are above their principal tenants, and with the disturbance, with the noise and stuff, yeah, he doesn't want to fix up the social. So at the end of the day, we have a lease and we have the right, yeah, to operate legally. Yeah, any illegal activity, of course, yeah, he can come up and stop us. But what we try to do is all over thing. The way it is now is completely unacceptable, and then we try to create a place where people actually come and enjoy it. So that's, to be honest with you, at the moment, the way it is now, where the entrance for the residents upstairs is where those people are standing. So we are trying to help the people who live upstairs. Yeah, this is not right. People shouldn't stop there. So they should take it as a positive, to be honest with you. For us to be there, they should see it as a positive, not a negative. Yeah, the way it is, I mean, if you don't mind, I mention your name, nothing, your door, entrance is just where the people are actually gathering.
I'm
So
not
we
aware
are-
of that, I live there, I don't see how that's relevant.
So,
Wait for him to finish.
so what would
I'll hand it back to you to answer.
yeah, well,
You could just address this.
okay, I'm sorry, trying to address it direct. So we are trying to do a positive thing, an honorable thing. So I don't think so the landlord should actually object that.
Thank you for your answer. Ms. Coulson, do you have a follow-up question?
I have an email from the landlord here, but I'll mention it in my 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Thank you. So are there further questions from the objectors? Yes, the gentleman introduce himself and ask.
Yeah, my name's Colin Cooley. Can you tell me, are you going to do takeaways?
At the beginning, we're taking to have a takeaway foods, but there is a point to be taken from you guys. People, they might take away and then eat outside and stuff here. So we haven't got any plan to do anything away from supplement.
So you're not doing takeaways?
We're not gonna do any takeaways.
There was some talk of having the interior door, so you have the lobby. You know anything about that? That be done? To have 2 doors as you go in the front door, keep the noise inside. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, if you see on the drawing, there are three sections. First of all, part is where the cafe and some sitting area, and then the middle on the left is WC, and then there's of course a sitting area in the middle as well, and then there's a section which is just about 6 small dining areas as well. I'm not quite sure which one you actually referring.
To the outer door on West Green Road, to have the lobby inside, which I think the noise was saying you should have. So you have 2 doors before you get into the restaurant.
Yeah, it's very, very good with the what you call it feedback. We can consider that and get the right people. And you know, which is what you have mentioned. If that can actually reduce the noise from the inside, it should be. Yeah, we can take that, consider that.
One last question. This side shutter. Why were those holes drilled in the plasterboard?
If you see from the original of the instruction of that extension, there is no window. So daytime it's just like to get the fresh air. We actually left it there, but what's going to happen is we actually going to put like small windows where we can actually open and shut them.
So you're going to open that side shutter on a regular basis?
Only when it's necessary or if we have enough customers, so we need to ventilate the.
So we're going to hear noise as soon as you open that shutter.
Try not to disturb very loud noise, just a normal conversation or even. The basic part of it, that one is that we can actually select which parts of that room we need a music or background. We have system in place as well. So we try not to make a lot of noise in the back.
So they're not, those holes were cut there for a reason.
Yes, that's the reason. It's just a fresh air or ventilation for me.
When you've got the shutter,
when you actually fully see the people, like it's completely close the shutter.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cooley. Are there any other objectors who have questions? Yeah, I know my 2 councillor colleagues have questions. We're struggling for time, someone, so if you can keep your questions very short. Go ahead.
Because we quite like the cylinder and windows and no air vents. Are there air conditioning? Have you got an air conditioner? And the second one is about the toilets. Are they male and female or are they unisex? And also the lighting in there. Quite a few companies now are having blue lights in to stop people using drugs. So I just wondered what's your thoughts about that?
Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, we are considering to the what's called the hub air conditioning, but the budget is a bit tight at the moment, considering over 40,000 to change that place at the moment. But we are considering to have air conditioning. And so the lighting, we have a different setup. We have dimers. We can actually, there is a bright light which has been observed by the noise team last time, and we show that in the noise team what kind of lights we have. So we have completely bright light, but if it's necessary, there is different colors of lights. Promises.
It's just really clarification. I just mean this, the shutter, that's in this back dining room, is it?
That's right, yeah.
Right, so at the moment that doesn't have any windows at all. So and where is the window going to go, on the front or the side?
The other side, it's the side, on the slide, at the top of where the shutters are. Where the shutter is.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll now hear from those who have submitted representations. Ms. Barrett from the Noise team, would you like to make the first 5 minutes submission? There's a chair here.
Jennifer Barrett, the Noise and Business Marketing Manager for Haringey Council. I have raised objections to this application simply because we haven't got a firm agreement with the conditions for the license. I have undertaken an inspection of the premises since the initial application, which we believed the rear area was going to be opposed to garden area use. It was labelled as a garden area. That's since been amended and is now a rear dining area, which raised different issues. Namely, the issue is raised about the shutter. If the shutters are down, the fire exit can be used. We still have no clarification capacity, so it's difficult to know whether the front and rear as fire exits can be used. And the issue about the plasterboard, which is used as the sort of side wall, and the shutters are up. So previously it was an open area that we could drive into to service cars. That has been covered over with plasterboard with large circular holes into them. On the other side of that wall, it's covered over with plastic foliage, so it looks better from the inside out, but it doesn't provide any resistance to the sound. So if that area is used for Afro music, that's going to be audible on the street. So we still need to clarify what that rear area is going to be like and how it's going to be ventilated. My initial concerns were that this roof area that covered it is going to have skylights that will provide light, or some kind of opening. There's a residential window directly above that area, which is then another issue to address. So we still aren't quite at the point where we can agree what that area is used for and all those specific issues about noise and public nuisance going to be addressed.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. I'm going to listen to, I'm going to ask all those who submitted their representations to speak, and then we'll ask questions at the end. Ms. Monica Pooley, would you like to make your presentation? You have 5 minutes.
First, I'd like to thank the subcommittee for their patience with reading all my words about the antisocial behaviour and the finding everything, and looking deeply at the images that I sent in. It's not just the antisocial behaviour as far as gathering of people, not just on West Green Road, on the corner of these premises, it's at the side and it's at the back. And it's also about that we have a lot of people urinating on the backboard of this premises and on a tree in Anchor Drive, which is mainly into the premises that's applying for the licence. The time aspect, you know, as I stated in my email, you know, it hasn't got any better since more licences have been given out. There's been shootings, there's been stabbings, machete wielding, and I believe having another premises with another licence, it's going to get worse. And it frightens me. And it frightens a lot of the residents that, you know, I live with in the shared accommodation. You know, we can't use our mobility scooters, wheelchairs. We're afraid to go out to do shopping with all these people hanging around. We feel intimidated. We either have to ask them to move the pavement or we have to walk in the road. You know, even the traffic enforcement officers, you know, they're threatened by these people when they give out tickets. So I really don't see how any CCTV, how any notices that is going to be put up, or any of the staff being brave enough to ask any of their customers that are outside to move on. I still didn't get a full answer as to the snow area not being, you know, on the pavement. Just, you know, I just asked the committee to hopefully not give out another licence because of these issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cooley and Mr. Collin. If you can want to make your into that.
One of the things I think that this man is not going to have enough money to do what he thinks he's going to do. He started off with a business plan, which is obviously falling to pieces because now he can't stay up until 2 in the morning. He can't do this and he can't do that. He can't have his shishka place. So I think he's gone into a business now where he's never going to succeed. I feel sorry for him, so I think he's going to do his money here, even if you give him permission. But in the meantime, what happens, he will get in there, and slowly, he won't be able to maintain what he's actually done, and it will just turn into another dump, like there are a dozen in that road who've gone the same way. There's a fish and chip shop up the top, was open for 3 months, and that went broke, where the man spent a lot of money as well. There's too many people in that street doing the similar sort of things. You might think if he opened it's different. A cup of coffee is a cup of coffee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cooley. Ms. Coulson, you have 5 minutes.
Chair. I just want to start by saying back, I'm one speaking on behalf of myself, Living Streets and but all residents of the same flats, which makes everything different for everyone. And wanting to start by saying that we wish Taylor Trust to have a successful business. This has never been a personal attack at all. I just want to make that really, really clear before starting. It's purely because that if granted this license will severely impact our health, safety and security in our own living community with a music and alcohol license, which I understand to be amended in terms of the time. I know it's not still any. But even so, it does directly impede our rights to buy and live in property, which we discovered when there was a party alone on the 20th of May, with music playing through ceiling speakers, which are ceiling speakers. That is, we've seen them, they are speakers in the ceiling. Whether they're disconnected now, but they are still, but they are built in. And this, we also, I want to agree with my previous residents in saying that I think this would likely increase antisocial behaviour on our job rather than decrease it. Obviously, I think that's an opinion rather than fact, but I just want to make it. And we, as the previous resident said, deal with these groups who congregate on our doorstep. Perhaps some of whom can get aggressive, can be quite intimidating. I'd also like to clarify as well, when I said before that we share the same landlord, please confirm us that selling alcohol at all and trading beyond 7:30 is a breach of his tenancy contract. I just like to read an excerpt from an email that I have because this is his words, directly copied and pasted in an email to me. The terms of the license have already been breached by the following: 1, apply, this is for the old license, this is for 2 AM. Applying for a 2 AM license for Friday and Saturday, alcohol and music shows its intent. The sale of alcohol on the premises itself is a breach of the license for a coffee shop, even if he closes at the correct time. I do not for a minute believe the application is a matter of naivety. 2, his own solicitor says his intention is to use it as a restaurant and cafe. The use is restricted to a coffee bar with no grill cooking. How can you operate a restaurant or cafe with no grill cooking? And we already have recorded instances of the premises being open past the agreed hours. So that is a direct quote from my landlord. That is the limit of our exposure to his tenancy agreement because of data protection. And the other main issue that myself and my residents that I live with have is that we understand that he is not applied, the applicant has not applied for a shisha license. We understand that. However, we have strong reasons to believe that if this license is granted, then at least he could use some of the property to have customers smoking shisha, regardless of not having a license. And this is because on 17th of May, he spoke to a flatmate Temper and showed inside the property where he pointed out, obviously speakers in the ceilings and shisha pipes lined up. And he's eager to exchange numbers. We contacted him first and mentioned that he was going to have parties, there might be noise issues, and he stated his name was to open the shisha bar. I understand that obviously all of this was his old intentions, but I have reason to believe that things might revert, who knows, they might revert back to it. But I know that these are his own intentions, but this is what was said. And 2 years later, so on the 19th of May was the day the carbon monoxide alarm going off at 11 PM. So Google called the emergency gas services, who identified the source of the burning downstairs, which confirms the hot sweet smell that came directly into our flat. And Moody's research that burning shisha indoors raises carbon monoxide levels. Our carbon monoxide levels were 4 times more than for evacuation, as said, so the gas man was taken back when he went downstairs and saw the burning across the side, causing a smoking room and fire hazard, which we have a photograph of if necessary. So despite this illegality and health hazard being communicated to the applicant through Peter Myers, who is the leaseholder, not the landlord of the property, who obviously isn't here. Lou and I smelled the same strong smell on the 7th of June, so a couple of weeks later. When I went to investigate, Taylor was not present at the time, but a man who looked very intoxicated, who turns out to be, I believe, Taylor's Tyler, aggressively refused to let me in to see if anything was burning. And this is something I really want to make clear in terms of my opinion that, I believe this back up my opinion that antisocial behaviour will increase. The people congregating outside, when I was asking if Taylor was around at that time, he wasn't present on that day. But I asked them if they knew where he was or if I could get in contact with him before I'd spoken to the man from Natalie Tyler. One of them said, this is going to be a shisha place. So this was after the carbon monoxide incident had happened. So the message still hasn't, I felt like on the 7th of June, the message still hadn't got through at that point. And citing Harrogate Council's website, if all the 50% was present, then obviously it's legal to smoke in the area. And I know that the league doesn't have the legal rights to the rules, but he asked us if that's in a chat a few minutes ago, if he could have customers smoking shisha for a couple of hours, if that would be okay. So he's not only asked about permission, he's not only asked for permission if he can open this, if that's okay, because obviously that's not in our jurisdiction at all. If we can ensure the council that it doesn't impose impact on noise, which we did plan to comment on. And we also need to know what action we can take if he breaches these terms of his tenancy agreement. And the last thing is that we are very concerned about these issues, as Lily, my flatmate, has severe asthma, which has got progressively worse since moving into this property only just over 2 months ago. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. So I'm going to take questions for those major presentations now. I have 2 questions myself. My first is for Ms. Barrett. It's a very straightforward question. I didn't catch what you said, so it's just going to clarify. Was the point you were trying to make that you're not sure whether when the shutter is down, the fire exit can be used, or did I mislead you? What's the concern?
Will be used in shutters. And because it's a side door that opens.
So your okay, so your concern is as the shutter is now, the fire exit. I will come to you. This siren, so your concern is as the shutter is now, the fire exit cannot be used.
A clarification, I guess he's going to tell me that shutter doesn't cover that door period.
Would you like to clarify?
Absolutely not right. I mean, probably you forgot, but we have a picture with us. Completely the fire exit is on the far right hand side, and the shutter is for the left hand side. It's completely separate, so it doesn't actually cover. I mean, you can get the point from the residents, the location of the fire exit. It's just shutter.
Do you feel this concern has not been addressed, Ms. Barrett, or do you still have a doubt about this?
Yes, in terms of the shutter, it's still the issue about the fire exit and where they are and capacity still. And this is certainly the whole into the island that the shutters cover.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. I have one more question. I think this was a point made by Ms. Coulson, if not correctly. You said that there was a party beneath your flat. Was the party from the applicant's establishment or a different household?
Yes, it was, and he has his apologies for this, I do understand that, but it was from his premises, which is below us.
Thank you, Ms. Coulson. Sorry, did you want to react to something that's been said?
Yes. Chair, can I just clarify, please, what the agent? Earlier, I think one of the questions Councillor asked about the resident spoke about the holes in the ceiling. If one of the speakers, he came back with noise officer came along and said that there wasn't going to be a vibration. That issue was not about vibration, that's about the fire risk, basically, with the works that's been done and the potential that any fireproofing is no longer there between your premises and the residential property. Yeah, I think that's the issue. And on top of that, Chair, I get the feeling that maybe the whatever refurbishment, whatever works has been carried out, please let us know if you've actually taken any advice from an architect, from a building control surveyor, from somebody else about the works that you have done and the fabrics and materials that's been used in the works that you've carried out in the premises. I mean, I know you haven't done the fire safety risk assessment, but it's not helpful because maybe some of these things would be answered, but it seems to me that, you know, the products and materials that you use aren't going to be fire retardant. Whatever you've got in place now isn't going to provide that fire safety requirements that, you know, you must have within the building.
Please, do you respond?
Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely we need a fire risk assessment to be done. The material is we use local builders, so I believe they know what they're doing. But of course, we can provide full reports, local material use, and of course, if it's necessary to do more work, we're willing to do things about it.
Ms. Barrett, do you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, that's not really the right way, to be honest with you. I do have concerns about that, and I would, in fact, I will be asking our building authority to go down to because I'm just not.
So are you referring to the ceiling or are you referring to the extension?
Everything.
The back? Yeah. Everything is done according to the building regulation. We don't break anything. So what kind of evidence are you looking forward to providing?
Sorry, can I ask anybody who's got a mobile phone to move it away from the microphone? Please?
That's the question I've asked you. Have you got building control, building surveyor that has come in and passed the works and the materials that will be used? If you have a check of the works that you have done to the property. Can you see that through by doing it so to say that into it?
Yeah, my client is actually saying, as far as you know, he actually hasn't changed any of the existing structure except internal decorations, like where the speakers are and stuff. But internally, it's the same what it used to be.
Sorry, Chair, I don't want to labour the point, but to be honest, if you have installed speakers to the point where, you know, carbon monoxide is infiltrating the resident property upstairs, I'm sure the landlord will have something to say. But at the same time. How is it?
Explain this. Then explain.
That's what they're asking for.
So see the roof just the roof has been the thing flats. We make like 10 or 20 centimeter down. We make another plaster we make like a box to make the speaker in, no them roof, them flat of the ceiling. We make down, we can't roof that you can't have a roof. Actual builders do it properly, make down the roof part of the ceiling. Yeah.
Suspended ceiling, has it?
No, it doesn't touch it.
Actually, the noise team, I think Mr. Fitzgerald was have actually she can give us feedback the way she's seen it, where speakers are. So why don't we have from the board say exactly where those speakers are, whether it's going to affect it, whether attach it to the ceiling to make noise. It would be much appreciated if she can explain to what she saw.
If you're seeing, just switch on your mic, it's a drop ceiling with a box. The edges and this, isn't it? Like I said, the parts of that system. What we can't see from the, you know, looking up is whether that's infiltrated. Don't know if that's within the infiltrated.
She said that you're not sure how it has infiltrated the property,
So they've created a drop ceiling, inserted speakers, they're flowing with this extra suspended box around the edges. So my belief is that the speakers are inside that box system. However, what we can't say is what happened when they created a drop ceiling in the first place. So there's a suggestion that there's been some infiltration into the property above. We can't make that judgment based on site.
Thank you for that clarification, Ms. Barrett. I'm first going to take questions from the councillors and then I'll open this up more widely. Councillor Peacock, did you want to go first?
Actually, I'm totally confused. When did you open up? Because I just thought it was being built on and then it was going to open up. So I'm totally confused because it seems to be a building site. So when did you actually first move in and start to serve and do things there? Or have you not opened up? I'm totally confused.
We haven't opened it yet. Couple of the morning, we just opened it for the front part, which is serve coffee, but the actual whole building is not open yet. Really. So we haven't actually changed any internal or any other service except the partitions, the toilet and the WC. You've got the male and the female as well, separate. Also, we created as a new, but others as it used to be. So we haven't created any other additional building inside.
People have said there's been a party or something like that. How could that happen? I don't understand.
Could you answer this question and then I'll come to you, Ms. Barrett? How did the party happen on the premises if you haven't opened the premises yet?
Yeah, he's well, I think that's going to answer the right question. that right? Right answer, sorry.
Sorry, it wasn't a party, it seems a party, but all of us, we work in times, this stuff. That we gather together and we eat and drink, that seems a party. The build wasn't finished. And when the people the scene at that time, it wasn't finished. And we haven't like after work, that seems a party, also it was exciting, that's, there's no such a party. You can come and see, it's not even completed.
So I'll ask councillor Peacock to finish, then I'll turn to councillor Blake, and then I'll open it more widely. I realise that we have many questions, but we have to do this in a systematic way. So councillor Peacock, do you have more questions? Councillor Blake.
So I get that you have been working, so you're all sitting there, you're eating and whatever. Were you playing music?
We was playing music with speaker, yeah, she's correct, I apologize for that one.
Enough though.
That's
Enough of tenants.
correct. I already apologize for the papers.
It's easy to say you apologise. It's about thinking
Yes,
beforehand
exactly.
and having, you have been saying your agent, you're going to be considerate, you're going to work. I get that you've worked hard, you're going to have some food and perhaps a drink. I get that. But then you were playing music loud enough that the tenants above thought that you were having a party.
No, it wasn't a party, but it seems a party. I apologize for them. That's a big mistake. I understand. I take it on.
And Chair, if I can, because I'm a bit like, I don't want to sort of admit that I'm confused.
Yeah.
But so this bill, this here.
Yeah.
You felt that was an open space before where cars could drive in.
Yes.
Is that right? And so what you've done is you've put, I call it plasterboard. You've put like plasterboard up. But is that plasterboard? Is that going to be soundproof? How are you going to? Sorry. Yeah.
Could I ask, excuse me, could I ask the applicant to let councillor Blake finish her question and listen to her question before you confer on yourself? So give you time to confer until she's finished.
So this you filled in with a plasterboard. How are you going to soundproof it? I mean, it's not plasterboard, isn't on its own. So if other mistakes happen and there is music playing and people can hear it, are you satisfied that that's adequate enough? Are you going to properly soundproof this? And when are you going to do that?
Yeah, that is the one section where the shutter is at the moment, yeah. And we need to take this seriously and have a look, get the building control or professionals who are checking, and then take them advice, yeah, and then have a proper one for the time being. Until now it's done there, we're not gonna decide not to have anything to do with that section.
Okay, thanks.
Do you have any more questions, councillor Blake? Do any of the objectors have questions?
You can go first. You just put your hand up.
Nicole, you have a question?
It has sort of been already answered by councillor Blake already. It's not so much a question, it's more of a direct dispute, so I'll keep it really short because I'm aware of time. Even though the solicitor said, oh, it wasn't a party, it was X, Y, and Z. Call it what you want to call it a spade a spade. They were playing music that was coming, because my bedroom is directly above where this back room that they were, and that the speakers and ceilings are. My bedroom is directly above that. This was my first night in this property, and there was music coming through the floor on and off until 6 AM. I'm self-employed and I work weird hours, and I get up, and so I had to get up and go to work the next day. It was a weekend. I work weekends. I'm self-employed, so
for me to, I just really wanted to dispute that, or it wasn't a party, or call it what you want to call it, music was still coming from my floor until 6 AM.
Thank you, Ms Coulson. Can I remind you to ask questions, and you will make closing remarks at the end. So if you have additional comments, you can make those comments, the closing remarks. Ms Pooley, do you have a question?
Yes.
Does the applicant want to respond first to Ms Coulson before I ask Ms Pooley to ask a question?
And just according to my client, the 6 AM that actually to be mentioned is not right. Absolutely right. And I wish I could provide if she's got proof that happened at 6 o'clock in the morning. There is no way that can be. That was one of which is after they finish everything for a certain period of time, they just play the music, which is recognized, and yeah, they apologize for it. But 6 AM, no.
So according to the applicant's version of the events, what time did the applicant and the Tyler stop their music?
Let me hear it from Excelsior from you.
Yeah. We went down at 2. We went up at 2 in the morning and told you to be quiet, and then it continued until 6 AM. Trying to find the messages about it.
Can the applicant tell us, and we've heard the objectors who told us that she stopped at 6.
Yeah.
That's what time it started.
12 or 1 o'clock. Yeah, that's correct. 6 o'clock. Work in the next day. I can't even stay like that. Honestly speaking, that's not right. Honestly, and then I just they just came out and I tell them apologies. No, 6 o'clock. I really am 100% sure. 100% sure.
Just to wrap up this point, we know that specifically on the time when the music is playing, we'll take that. Mrs. Pooley, could you ask your question?
Because of your inexperience with many things, but mainly the music, the sound, do you not understand that a product or the limiter can be bought to have it limited constantly at a dB level that you don't control, the applicant doesn't control, it's actually limited, it's set. And, you know, because I agree with Councillor Blake that I think there's just, the applicant is too inexperienced to run a cafe restaurant with a licence. That's it.
Thank you for the feedback. We have really, as I mentioned earlier on, from the university, that's one of the options that are being given to go in the minutes. But the second one was to come and have a second visit and get the music, play the background music, and hearing someone says, and then we actually record what the band is actually, and then just to keep it on that side. But the musician that I used to say is absolutely can be fitted to avoid this kind of circumstances.
Thank you to the applicants. I also asked the applicants and his agent whether they have any questions to the objectors on the basis of the representations they made in this meeting.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chair. I have a few questions today especially for the existing antisocial behavior going on here. Have they ever contacted police or the license authority regarding this, and what feedback did they get? Because we're gonna go the same thing if they don't give us any feedback to what happened before. And of course, we are new, and we are actually getting there with the existing problem. So in order to solve that, we need a positive feedback from them to tackle this subject. Have you ever contacted the council or the license authority to tackle this antisocial behavior?
The objector who wants to answer the question, raise their hand. If you want to answer.
You actually phone 101 to the police and report it, and you hope that they will turn up. Or you get in touch with the noise team, and hopefully they will be on duty to come to the premises. You know, the noise team can't work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, which is understandable. They can only do so much. And the police have, you know, lots of crimes to contend with, not just antisocial behaviour. You know, everyone understands that, but you know, it's not ever been resolved, and it's just going to get worse with more licences being given out.
Thank you, Ms. Woolley. Do the applicant and his agent have more questions for the objectors?
Okay, Chair, we are now approaching 9:30. Can I ask the Chair's permission to exceed 10 o'clock for a short time to conclude the hearing?
Yes, we can extend the meeting, but we do need to be concise to make sure we end this at a reasonable time.
I think we finalised questions, but we don't have any more questions because it's been explained in all the details that were given.
And thank you to the applicant and his agent. So now we'll move on to concluding remarks. So will the applicant and his agent like to give their concluding remarks?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Thank you everyone for your time today. Mr. Tedros is with me today. Very ambitious guy to do right thing. He spoke all about the antisocial behavior and existing problems as well there. So he's going to face that, but at the same time, he will definitely work with you as good competence by providing CCTV to the police, to the license authority, to tackle those kind of things. He is willing to do to take any feedbacks as well there. But the main thing is he's not actually creating what you call a drinking establishment. This is going to be a purely restaurant that we can run, and he is happy to take feedback. And anything that we discussed today is no hard feeling from everyone. Your point, what you make, is very, very important for us to grow and to do daily our business here. And we'd like to thank you for the opportunity to give us this opportunity for today, guys. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. Would you like to conclude remarks?
Chair, I'm just going to really mention that and say Ms. that put himself forward as the DPS. And the role of the DPS is a person who has got the day-to-day responsibility of, you know, operating and managing the premises. And similarly, making this application as well. Did they come here and to see what was already going on in the area and how they could then show in their application what they would be doing differently to avoid those issues, or to not add to those issues really. And I think the fire issue of the water works is very important.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. Ms. Jennifer Barrett, would you like to conclude remarks?
So just summarising by saying that all concern is the rear extended area is the former driveway. We just want to ensure that the appropriate measures are put in place to soundproof that area. We have, with the committee is minded to grant the licence, we have submitted a list of appropriate conditions we think go above what has been submitted by the applicant. Particularly relating to inaudibility of music at the site boundary, and with specific caveats for noise controls. What we don't currently have is clarification about the actual. Executive chairs in appropriated. We need that new information. Information for privacy.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett, and would you like to give concluding remarks?
Yes, yes, please. This back addition where the plaster board has been put up, where we're worried about the noise. Literally, people who live in the sheltered accommodation that I live in can hear the noise from groups of men and any cars that are parked at the end of Anchor Drive with their radios on. So this is a real worry with the noise with this back addition. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Pooley. Mr. Pooley, would you like to give your concluding remarks?
Yeah, another thing with the shutter at the side, I was just asking the chair, have you got a picture of that? With it open, with the holes in the. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
Let's see. The white, what number? Page 38.
I'll give you a better idea of what we are talking about.
So the shutter is the white thing here.
The shutter is up.
Up at the moment, so I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff will be up at the moment in that bit.
Thank you, Mr. Pooley. Ms. Colson, would you like to give your concluding remarks?
I concluded that is that we are there when it comes to alcohol and the food and it's made by the landlord. It's been made to us. It's as it stands that what the applicant is proposing to do goes is a direct breach of his tenancy, and obviously it's in nobody's interest that he risking eviction. And I'm sure that if he wants to contact the landlord, then you could ask for is that living directly above this has posed such threat to, well, health, safety, security, not only because all my apartments, there are some that this area that currently exists seems to be a direct fire hazard, and living above that, frankly, does not make you feel safe.
So the kitchen backs onto your staircase.
Sorry,
Which is made for.
thank you. Yeah, I want to remind you that after this meeting as councillors, we will deliberate on what we've heard today and we'll take a decision on this matter. And you will receive the decision within 5 working days, this meeting. So on that note, thank you everyone for being with us for such a long meeting, for making your points and such. Very you can pass a lot to think about. Thank you for being with us and have a lovely evening. Thank you.